This is the final presentation for my assignment. The presentation is split into two parts. First, I present the design journey for my project, and the second part will show the collaboration and peer feedback with fellow students. Reading online about innovation and technology gave me the starting point for the initial brainstorm. I came up with a list of several product ideas, and after some thought I decided to focus on a service that connects consumers to local producers, for example farmers that sell their produce. The idea was taken from mail companies using clusters of delivery boxes where people can pick up things they have ordered online. I decided to call my idea Box Fresh. I created a proto-persona which helps to visualize how the target audience would interact and respond to my product or service by humanizing the potential customer and giving them realistic attributes, behaviors, and showing potential issues they could have. I then created a customer journey map for my persona. This details how Emily would interact with the service, divided into 3 segments. Before, where the initial interest and awareness of the service is created. During, where I detail how the purchase and pickup process works. And after, where potential feedback and recommendations occur, and details on whether she would be a repeat customer. Taking the initial product ID, Emily's persona and customer journey map into account, I created the following how might be questions. These questions help me to form my unique selling proposition for the service. Taking the USP into consideration, I consolidated a few of the listed how might be questions into a single essential question. The following sketches show IDs for different screens in the app prototype. In sketching out the IDs, I took the previously created customer journey map into account and tried to visualize how the app would look. I used the sketches as a basis to create an interactive wireframe prototype in Adobe XD. I then tested the prototype on friends and colleagues that matched the user persona of Emily. I explained the concept of the service to them and briefed them on the unique selling proposition so that they would get a better understanding of the concept while they tried out the wireframe prototype. I asked them questions about the user interface, navigation structure, content, etc., and collected their input into feedback capture grids. This is a tool that helps categorize feedback into 4 quadrants. Using the input from my test users and using the wireframe prototype as a basis, I created a high-fidelity prototype which would have the look and feel of a real app. The main screen shows the producers and your favorites amongst these, as well as categories listing with sideways scrolling. Clicking into any of these shows the corresponding screens for local producers, favorites, and categories. The pickup points show places you can choose for your pickup location with clickable map pins. On the shopping cart, it must be easy for the user to add or delete items, and seeing the total amount to be paid before finalizing the transaction. The notifications show when your pickup is ready, along with details of past deliveries. The main navigation expands over the content to make it big enough and easily reachable with your fingers. A key aspect of the business case is the problem statement, which is built on observing the target audience's needs and issues, describing the service to them, and suggesting how to solve those issues. In this segment, I describe the 2 most important facets of the service, the app and the pickup boxes. The business goals of the Box Fresh company should focus on launching the service, acquiring a customer base, and creating a profitable company. Looking at the market, I compared some companies similar to Box Fresh, such as meal kit services, receipt boxes, and meal delivery services that have a business in the UK. These services are well established and represents competitors that Box Fresh could try to emulate in terms of how they operate. At the start of the module, we discussed the product ideas that the students came up with. 2 students posted their ideas that I responded to. Student number 1 discussed ideas that could help during natural disasters, pandemic, or social unrest, which is an interesting situation for idea generation. One idea revolved around remote learning and education, and another was about horse training, which I commented seemed like a unique idea to further develop, while idea number 3 was for sharing emergency alerts without internet services, which I commented that some governments already have in use, but could perhaps be developed differently. Student number 2 had 2 ideas, a GPS collar for pets, either doing a marketing campaign or propose a new design for it. The second idea was for a weather app. I commented that I liked both ideas and that it would be cool to see something new about the pet collar idea, maybe injected GPS trackers could work. A student had feedback for 4 ideas I had and commented on the mobile app that connects farmers with consumers that it was a great idea and that the consumers are trending toward buying organic foods. I agreed and said that consumers are getting more informed about what kind of food they buy and care about sustainability. Student number 2 continued their work on the cat GPS collar. I didn't understand that they had chosen to focus on a marketing campaign for an existing product, but they later replied and clarified that it was. I had completed part of the assignment and got positive feedback from a student. They agreed that it was difficult to get in touch with local farmers and that they operated in closer circles with folks they already know, but that they would love to be able to buy produce from them on a marketplace. I agreed with their thoughts and mentioned that there is an untapped potential for farmers. Student number 2 posted their progress, and I wrote a post where I commented on several aspects of their assignment, amongst others that I would consider narrowing down the focus of the how might we question. I advised to be specific about the problem statement in the business case, as it is about understanding the target audience's needs and issues. I also advised on the layout, with some illustrations being too small to read, and to think about white space and textual hierarchy to better get the message across. Student number 3 had an interesting idea to use schools to create meeting places for single mothers. I mainly had input regarding making sure the sketches and prototypes looked good. I would use more white space and avoid letting text float to the edges, and perhaps adhere to a grid system for better spacing out elements. And regarding the business case, I would also try to narrow down the focus here, as the text might be too comprehensive. I posted the final prototype, and the student had several suggestions on new functionality for the app, including loyalty rewards for customers, seasonal sales or produce, donations to food banks, and other ideas. Another student asked about who the market competitors would be and suggested two actors, HelloFresh and Gusto, that has a similar feel, and I ended up using them as example competitors for my market analysis, which was really helpful. They also suggested adding a meal kit option and produce sale to the app, which was valid suggestions. All in all, it was useful to discuss the assignments with my peers, as they had valuable input I could use. It would have been even better if we could have discussed things earlier, but it is hard to do with time constraints and other things going on.